have gone before. Maybe to you I am just one more, but I got my ticket straight to the USA. One-way ticket to America. That basically describes this show, Ellis Island, which is one of Crystal Theater's perennial favorites and is actually the first of a trilogy, followed by Living the American Dream and Whistleville. But in Ellis Island, I wrote this show because my parents were originally immigrants, and so many people to America are, even to this day, with the immigration problems and issues that are constantly in the news. So this is a show that takes place in 1907, and even though it still has resonance with everything today, this show, strangely enough, has been performed all over the world, even in China. And you wonder, why would they be interested in a show about immigration to America in a foreign country? Well, I think it often is because they probably have relatives or ancestors that did come to America, and they're curious about the experience. Now, one thing that may give you pause when you first look at the script is that it takes place in 3 countries in the opening, as well as on 3 ships. Do not let this stop you or frighten you. We have done this show with absolutely no set. We even performed the show on an outdoor stage at Ellis Island at the 100th anniversary back in 1992 with the World Trade Center Twin Towers in the background. It was a phenomenal experience. No set, no problem. The ideal set configuration would be 3 identical boxes, long, rectangular, open, sides are all open, where in the ship captain's stand, the ticket seller's stand, the register, the telegram woman could stand, and you will see that on another page where you flip them. One side says Deutschland, another side says Hamburg, Germany, another side says Telegraph Office, another side says Exchange. However your staging works, that's how you paint them, and all you have to do is quarter turn, slide them upstage, slide them downstage. Another aspect that we use often, and if you have the opportunity to use it, would be platforms, and we have them in various steps, so that way you have levels. If you have a cast of 70 people, you want to be able to see them, and if they are all ground level, that could be problematic. We've also done the show, there's a choral version, as you will see on the website, where most of the acting is done by narration. So you have different people that step forward and basically narrate the show, and you have a few characters that actually act as characters. Costumes for this show, for the immigrants, easy as pie. You want to stick to darker colors, multiple layers, shawls, hats. Nobody went without a hat in those days. But if you were a Russian immigrant, you'd have a babushka. The Hungarians, same thing. Multiple skirts. These people didn't have luggage. They wore everything they owned on their bodies and carried their bedding, carried their pillows. So those wrapped up giant balls of pillows and blankets become things for them to sit on. So instead of stools, you actually have these items where the little kids can move forward, sit on these items, and they're elevated. The cat, usually we use a stuffed animal of some sort for that looks relatively realistic, but we've had very ambitious kids that brought in their pet cats and we've used them in the past. It has to be a well-behaved cat. It worked, but you have to have literally somebody in charge of doing that. Luggage, you want to try to find old luggage or distressed luggage. You can't be using American Express suitcases or those kinds with the rollers, not working. So hit the Goodwill or your grandmother's attic to try to find something for a few of the suitcases that you need. Now, another question, if you have a large African American population and you want to do this show, know that the character of Sylvia Bonet is African American. Sometimes we don't have an African American in the class and we'll use someone Hispanic, whatever. You can play that role of Sylvia Bonet as an African American. Well, she wouldn't be American, she would be from the island. So whatever works for you. but there's no reason you can't colorblind cast the whole show. It's a good learning opportunity, and it's something that you can tie in with a classroom teacher in your study of history. Shoes, you want to have basically brown or black shoes. If you're a regular if you're a regular theater, you might have your kids wear jazz shoes or character shoes. But if not, we recommend buying those tie black shoes that are sometimes popular now, or you can get them at Goodwill, the shoe boots. That would be the time period. You can also construct a old-fashioned camera with just a tripod, a piece of black cloth, and maybe cardboard, so that when Commissioner Watchworm does the song, "A Picture's Worth 1,000 Words," you've got something for him to use as the camera. That is an important set piece. The rich people, the American ladies, who are the few wealthy ones, and you also have the wealthy people who are on the upper deck of the song during Neptune's Furies and during One Way Ticket to America, that you want to go for those A-line satin skirts, jackets, those 80s jackets, whatever, and hats. Remember, hats with feathers. They should be very contrasting in the way they look, so that the audience immediately makes a distinction between the poor immigrants and the rich people. Anybody who works on Ellis Island, the female nurses or secretaries, would be wearing what they call a shirtwaist. So you'd have a long black skirt, A-line black or navy blue or brown, and a white blouse with more of a puffy sleeve, high-necked, and they wouldn't be wearing hats inside Ellis Island because they would be at work. But this is the time of the Gibson girl haircut, where hairstyle where their hair was long, tease back comb the whole thing, put it up in an elastic, kind of push it forward, and then make a bun on the top, and then maybe have some tendrils coming down. You do that with the rich ladies as well. The immigrants go for long braids, French braiding in the back, pulled back buns, braids for the younger kids. The key to giving your show that look is the hairstyle and the hats. You can make any Goodwill material or clothing look like an appropriate costume if you finish it off with the proper babushka or hat. Choreography. Very important in this show. This is not a dance show. If you study the DVD, it will give you some very good ideas about effectively choreographing these numbers. With a large cast, you want your movements simple, but rehearsed and together. We do these shows in 15 or 16 two-hour rehearsals, so we don't have time to do elaborate choreography. If you happen to have some really good dancers, you would put them maybe into The Picture's Worth 1,000 Words, or your one ballerina for Ludmila. Ludmila, the Russian girl who is going to be sent back because she has no relatives here, she's a ballerina. Now, if we don't have anyone that can actually dance, we skip the ballet audition. We just put someone who's slender and looks like she could be a ballerina in the role. So that's optional. You can use that instrumental solo for a dance, and even if you're not a choreographer and she's a really good dancer, let her choreograph her own piece. That's an added learning experience for that student. In conclusion, we hope that you enjoy this show, enjoy performing this show, and you will find it's a perennial favorite with the audience. And it reminds everybody of the American dream and why people want to come to this country and what makes our country great. Opportunity for all. This is your opportunity to present a Crystal Theater show.